Hello again. Welcome back. Today is Monday of week 2 of my planning. As I said in my last video, I'm doing a little bit of a hybrid between finishing up more of my whips and also working on continuing to exercise. So far, workout's doing good. I worked out yesterday, did not today because I was supposed to do something and then that got canceled, and now maybe I'll get to it tonight, but I think I'm at least going to go for a walk today. Got a few more projects then and want to share those with you today. So I finished up sewing this bag. I just connected it. I did add a little bit more material behind it, but I did a zigzag stitch. I know it's not pretty, but from far away, you'll never notice it because it's on the side of the bag, and I think that works really well. And that one is all done. I also went and finished up this cloth. So there was a hole on actually both sides. So I did one here and one here, and I decided to go bright and colorful. I was like, you know what, let's celebrate these flaws, because honestly, I'm really excited to see how long I can keep these cloths in my possession and how much I can continually mend them and use them. I feel like that's awesome, and it uses up my scrap fabric. These were just little scrap pieces that I had, so it's nice use of material that otherwise probably would have went to the trash, because who else would use something this tiny? So that's where I am right now, and I think I'm going to do some more. Maybe I'll bring you along with me now that my phone is charged for the next few that I'm working on. The mending of the past. I'm going to mend these pajama pants, and it's pretty similar to what I did with the cleaning cloth. I was debating whether I wanted to try to do like a weave. I know that takes a while, but I figured since this is on the back of one of my legs, I'm probably never going to see it. And neither will like anyone else really who's going to see me in my pajamas. So I figured I may as well do some mending. I had a few options that I saw. I was thinking about doing this, some fleece that I thrifted. I'm concerned that this is really, really thick, but even a single layer I think would be too thick and might make more weakening. I know it's always better to use similar thickness and material. I do have some leftover flannel, but it's like really, really different in color. But I was thinking that this would look pretty nice. It's not the same color by any means, but I think it's like a little bit interesting. Cut out about the size. Now this is really, really thin, so I'm going to double it over, and that is pretty similar thickness to my pants. So let me go get some scissors. So I'm going to use that to patch. It's always good to fold over your edges. I don't have to for this one because it's solid, but for these other ones, I'm going to fold over my edges. And you also want to make sure you don't want to go through both sides of the leg. So I'm going to hold it up a little bit. I'm really thankful that it's at the bottom and not anywhere else, because it gets harder on pants to mend. I found in the past when I was mending jeans, the easiest way for me to do it was to actually wear them and stitch it on myself, just because, I don't know, I found that so much easier than trying to hold it. And I know I could use all different types of things. I'm trying to make sure I'm in right frame. And I'm just gonna do a running stitch. Actually, this is thin enough that I think I can just stack them on. And I didn't tie a knot. I don't know if you noticed or not, but I didn't tie a knot in the bottom. It should be fine because it's going to be held on the inside. And not to worry here, everything I do is completely in vain because well, you'll see. I think too, this is a great plan for fixing pajamas, just because pajamas are kind of funny to begin with. Like, no one wears pajamas to be serious. They'll have their little weird things. Sometimes we have like funny pictures or whatever. So I think going a little bit funky with it isn't bad. If I took a minute to actually iron down my edges beforehand, Cookie, you're not allowed on the table, first of all. Definitely not a lot of you gonna cause chaos. Also, just a random inquiry I have. I know I can stitch with both my left hand or right hand equally as good. Can anyone else do that? Or is that like something unique to me? Is that, or something that not many people can do? Let me know. Is that something you do, as especially people who stitch a lot? Can you stitch just as well with either hand, or can you only stitch with one hand? Would love to know. I find it comes in handy. Like right now, there's no way I could have stitched this with my left hand, which I'm one of those weird lefties. I don't think it's weird. It's normal. But I'm a lefty, so I stitch a little bit easier with my left hand, although like I said, it's not any more difficult to do it right-handed. It's just more of a comfort thing. Like I just feel more comfortable doing it that way. I think actually what it comes down to more is just my right hand just holds everything down a lot easier than my left hand usually does. Although right now my left hand's doing a great job. But sometimes it's just like, what do you do in left? Oh, that was what I was afraid of. I wasn't sure if I left myself enough room or not. Something that possibly could have made this a little easier as well is if I maybe use some fabric glue and glued it down first. And I also have never done patches like this before, so I don't know how valid this is of a mending technique. I've seen other people do it, so this is a trial for me. I also find this method of mending relaxing and easy. I feel like that's a key part too, is that, you know, you're not going to do it if it takes too long or if it's something you're not interested in. But for me, I think this is the right amount of interest, right amount of not too hard to do. But again, this is why I had a whole pile as well. It's not something I like to do all the time. And I also just kind of started getting into mending. At least the nice part is I could flip it over and see if I'm too close to my edges, which I might be. I would have found that out pretty soon. All right, let's flip it over. Yeah, so I needed to keep this over here more. I did not do a great job of that. So what do I do now? I might take another piece and just try to go a little further. I wish I didn't just sew this down. I could have squeezed it in. Yeah, that's concerning. I might be able to just pull out everything. Yep. All right, let's just do it over again. Take two. All right, so it's off, and this time I'm going to glue it down like I should have done before. All right, and this time I think I finally got it. It's enough room there. And this way it should be more stable while I'm sewing it, so it should be less fiddly. It should be nice. And I didn't have to get a new string, which was also nice. Although, definitely got this one kinked up a bit. Ah, there we go. One bad part though is I'm definitely getting glue on my needle, which is not going to be pleasant for that. Which means I'll definitely have to clean my needle after this. Yeah, this is so much easier to hold though, because it's not loose bits. I also took a second to make sure all the seams are pressed down as well. And this is like a fabric glue. It is washable, so, or it dissolves in water, I should say. The glue will come off when I go to wash this. Also, an update on some of the other projects I had in my to-do, in my WIPs pile. I was unable to find the buckle that I thought I bought to fix the one water bottle holder, but I was able to find my book for the Agurumi hedgehog that I was in the middle of. So I'll probably I might actually do that after I'm done here. I'm not going to want to do any more sewing after I finish this project. So maybe I'll go do some crocheting, get that done. I feel like this purple tie-dye is such a cute little flare to add. And I don't know what to do with these pre-cut mask patterns that I have because A, the masks were not very fun to make. And B, they're like such a strange size and shape. I'm like, what do I do with it? I mean, besides something like this where I can use it to mend, but I could also use it for patchwork as well. And I feel like the unfortunate part is I had some really, really cute material for it. So I want to use it. I don't want it to go to waste. This string that I have, it's embroidery floss, keeps getting tangled. I don't know if it's because I found it tangled, so it just wants to naturally tangle, but I've never had one tangle as much as this one has. Granted, it didn't do it too much when I was making these pants. Well, when I'm fixing these pants, but when I was fixing that washcloth, oh my gosh, like every 3 seconds, it was constantly getting pulled on itself. I know part of it is that I have a really, really long tail. I know that's part of the reason why, but it wasn't even, that's not where it was getting caught up. It was getting caught up early on where, right at like this point, this kept getting, like my open tail kept getting wrapped around the other one and then just causing weird pulls. And I don't know why it was doing that. I've never had that happen like so much where it just kept getting caught. And it's the same one. I mean, haven't unthreaded my needle yet. So I don't know why now it's fine. Maybe I just ran it through enough fabric that it's nice and slick and decided not to get tangled. But for a while there, that's all I wanted to do, is just tangle around everything. Also, does anyone else hate mending pants because the holes are just so small and hard to get your hands in? Or is it just me? Like, shirts are so much easier. So is like literally anything else, I swear. See, there it is. Just like this. This is what it kept doing over and over and over again. I will say it sped it up so much gluing this down. I'm definitely gluing the other ones for this pants project. I love too that you can get inspiration from anywhere. I think part of what helped me decide to do these like bold colors and things was I was watching a video yesterday that was saying how in Japan, I think I don't know if it's other countries too, but in Japan, like if you were to break like some pottery or something, they would mend it and highlight the cracks in it by painting it gold or something really, really nice, making it stand out to show what normally people would call a defect into a feature. And that inspired me to do some colorful patchworks that stand out. And actually, when I went to Rhinebeck 2 years ago, there was a woman who had a station on mending, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. She had a whole bunch of different mends and stuff that she was demonstrating, and some of them were so cute. Like, they would have been like a little like pinhole or something in a shirt, and she made really, really cute little critters out of them. Like, she would turn it into like a teddy bear or a bee or something. And then it was this really, really cute design that, you know, some people would pay money for. You know, like when you get like a polo shirt, it'll have like maybe like Ralph Lauren has, like, I think it's Ralph Lauren that has the horse, the polo horse on it, you know, stuff like that. But she, like, you know, made a mend that made it look like something like that, which is, I think, was awesome. I tried to talk to her a little bit, but it was hard. But I took pictures of the books that she was selling because I thought they were pretty neat. But haven't done anything besides that. I actually don't even know if I still have those pictures. I should, but I find mending really, really a really fun and cool skill. It's a way to make your clothes last longer, but also an interesting way to add, like I said, some fun interest to your garments as well. And I wish we did more mending and less just buying new things, because a lot of things, like I said, these pajama pants I have, I'm sure if this happened to someone else, they probably would have thrown away, or maybe they would just ignore it for a while because it's on the back of the pant and maybe they wouldn't notice it. But most people would just throw it out, get new ones. But I've had these an insane amount of time, probably before 2008. Actually, I might even say the date on it. Oh, 2011. So that's 16 years now. You know, they're old pants. They fit good. No reason to get rid of them. All right, so one patch done. I actually like that gray tone to it. It's cute. I think this one will go vertically. So I'll do same as before. Do a little fold over. Gotta do a better job of making sure I give myself. I should have done more, but so there'll be my patch. Gonna glue down the sides because I'm too lazy to get my iron. But I found that worked. It does add a little bit more glue onto my needle, but at this point my needle's already being exposed to glue, so a little bit more shouldn't hurt too much. I'm gonna have to clean it when I'm done anyway. Stay down. Okay, now let's put some glue on here. Center it nice and good. Oh, I forgot to check to make sure I have it in the right spot, but I think with the glue holding it down, I'm able to better make sure it's in the right place. But let's just flip it in. Yeah, see, that's much better. This is a little close to the edge, but I didn't make my patch nearly big enough, and that's on me. And this one, actually, I can see through with the light that I have enough room around it. So that one should be fine. And I'm sure someone's wondering why I'm not knotting my thread at all. And the reason why I'm not is because knotting adds bulk, and I don't want that to be a weak point in my garment. If I leave my tail long enough, it's not going anywhere. But if I leave a knot in there, over time, that knot will rub against the fabrics and create a weak point. And my tail is long enough on the inside that it shouldn't just randomly pop out. And same as before, if I ever needed to undo it, if I remember where I started, I could easily just pull out the strings using a needle and get it out. It shouldn't just pull itself out. Like, it needs to have an outside force yanking it in just the right spot for it to come out. I can feel my needle getting more sticky and harder to press through. Part of me knew that was gonna happen. Oh, you know what? I started back stitching and I didn't even realize it. That'll make that hard to come out. All right, getting close. 2 down, 2 to go. These ones are a little bit smaller, but just because they're smaller does not mean they're any less work. Actually, did I make that too small? That one's going to be close. I think is a little too small, but I think it'll work perfect. Well, it will work perfect for this one, so I'm just going to use it down here. I'll have to do a little bit larger one there because this one has a little hole. It's not really even a hole yet, but it's sprayed and it'll start becoming a hole soon. This should be the easiest one because it's on the edge. I think this patch is my favorite one so far. Not because it's the smallest, but I think the little square looks cute and I love the little tie-dye on here. I feel like I love the little white spots that show through. I think they're adorable. Is looking good. Don't know what I did there. I wonder if I should do like some stitching, but I don't know. We'll see how they hold up over time. Last patch. Gotta make a bigger cut than I thought I should last time. Plenty big enough. Might have been too big, but guess better too much than too little. Perfect. I like that I got a different color one too, instead of it all being purple. Looks nice. Got some of that orangey, pinkish color. Last one. Let's stitch in the opposite way that I did for every other one. Because why not? I'm so excited. After I finish this, I am going for a walk. And I'm really stoked about going for a walk. Why? I don't know. But I want to go outside. I want to do something. I want to get some exercise. I want to look at the pretty plants and houses and trees and maybe catch some Pokemon. I'm excited. My group for this week for Pokemon Go is off to a great start. I think we're almost halfway done, and it's only Tuesday, so it just launched and we're almost done. Although I feel like the quest that's do like 15 quests is really easy. And I feel like some of the other ones are really, well, not really hard, but they're a lot more difficult. If you think about it, like 15 quests between 4 people, like 15 quests I think is like a solo goal. I don't think that's a good group goal. It kind of blows my mind when people ask me about Pokemon Go and they're like, wait, that's still going on? And I'm like, yeah, there are a lot of people that still play Pokemon Go. It is still good. And they're still adding some really, really awesome features. So if you haven't checked it out in a while, I recommend it, especially now that they have this new weekly quest that you do with friends. That one I'm really, really enjoying. It's definitely gotten me to play more than most of the other ones that they've added recently, but I feel like they've made a lot more things to make it more community-centered between, again, the one where you can do the weekly quest with friends, the one where you can party up with friends. Also one of my favorites. I love doing that. It's a lot of fun. Last stitch. I cannot be done with this fast enough. I am so excited to be done. And now my pants are mended, and I think it looks super cute, different, original. I love it actually a lot. I didn't know how I'd feel about it. I kind of was just doing whatever and seeing what happens. And what did my cats do with my cover to my scissors? It has a cover to it. I don't know what they did with it. I'll have to find it. It's probably on the floor. All right. I'm off to take a walk. I can't wait. If I see anything cool, I will make sure to video record it. On the tail end of my walk, nothing really of note. I did see a cat butt, wild cat on the wild. Besides that, nothing really of note. Did complete my two of my quests that I had, was sure to catch water Pokemon. Rather difficult because all it was thrown at me today was electric Pokemon. But thanks to, I keep calling them Chiaotzu, but I know that's not their name. I think it's Chinchows, maybe? I'll have to look it up. But thanks to those guys, I did finish my quest because they are an electric water type Pokemon. So thank goodness. I don't know why it gave me electric Pokemon, and I did get both of those quests today. Maybe that's a spotlight Pokemon as a water Pokemon. I don't know. But I did finish it. Now I'm out of quests, and there's no Pokestops nearby. Doing really good. We almost finished our weekly quest. Alright. Now I'm just gonna finish this long hill and get back to my house. So glad I went walking when I did because it was starting to get really, really cold out there. You can see I'm a little flushed and the wind really started to pick up. Also, when I got home, I found what I was looking for, the cap to my scissors. So, awesome. Hello and welcome back. I figured today I'd start off with a little bit of story time as I finish up sewing up 2 little scrubbies that I made for that craft show I have coming up. So, last night I went to help my dad load up some bar stock, you know, normal stuff. Not really. But help him unload, not load. I helped him unload some bar stock at his shop. And we had a little bit of an adventure. So we did unload it, everything was good. I never really directed someone to back up a truck, so that was a learning experience. He wasn't really happy with me at the time because I wasn't in his mirror, which I thought I was, but apparently I was nowhere near it. But he told me where I need to stand next time, and the second time we backed up the trailer, much better. Anyway, I should be using a bigger needle for this. But anyway, so while he was backing up to his shop, he ended up blowing out his clutch. So we've had a really, really fun adventure getting back home. I thought I was going to die like 3 times. Especially because he kept going in the left lane for some reason with his 4-ways on. And I'm like, Dad, please go back in the other one. Like, you're scaring the shit out of me. Especially when there was this truck like literally inches away from me because we were at like one of those pendant areas, you know, with those concrete things on concrete barriers on either side. Yeah. So I didn't die. I'm still alive, which is wonderful. But that was a whole adventure in itself. We did also get to admire the sunset, which is gorgeous. I'll put a picture up of the sunset that we saw. I was in the car, so not the prettiest of pictures, but you can still see the effect. For some reason, he was arguing with me about if it was a sunset or not. I'm like, clearly this is a sunset. What else would be this bright? I don't know what color. I think it was like orange. What else would make this orange color in the sky? He's like, but is it west? And I'm like, I don't know, but nothing else looks like the sun going down. Like you can see the circular shape from where it was go. I don't know. I feel like that's just old people. Anyway, not that I'm not old. I'm plenty old right now, but I'm not as old as my dad. Anyway, but that was my fun little adventure. Thought I was gonna die. And I got back, had some dinner, which is lovely. Tried to go to sleep, couldn't go to sleep. Actually, I didn't even go to sleep yet. This is way before I went to sleep. Let's go back a little bit. So, had some dinner with my parents. Really, really nice. And then came home, and my husband pretty much went to bed right after that. It was late. He works, you know, normal things. And I just got the bug to start cleaning. I was like, you know what? I just want to start, well, not cleaning. I wanted to move things around. I've had some ideas for a while of how I wanted to reorganize my shelves. You saw a little bit of them. I didn't show you all of my shelves. I just showed you the one with my crafting stuff on it. But I've been wanting to reorganize them for a while. And I got the bug to do that at like 11 o'clock at night. You know, normal things. Because everyone likes to rearrange their house at 11 o'clock at night. So I didn't film any of it because, again, super, super late. But I wanted to show you what I did do. So let me finish this up and then I will show you my progress. And I didn't do everything. It's not perfect. According to Cass from Clutterbug, I'm a butterfly. So I like to see my things. So for some of you, that's going to be annoying. But for me, it's helpful. Now, I would prefer to have some closed containers because, again, some things are not the best to look at and they can kind of just be combined together. The problem is I don't have those containers, and being unemployed, I have to pick and choose my battles of what I can get. So those are things that I eventually want to get down the road, but it's good to have an idea of what my needs are and what I want going forward. All right, these are good. Perfect timing. Let's go take you on a little adventure and I'll show you all the crazy things I did at 11 o'clock to 1 a.m. last night. So starting over here, I have my record player area. I wanted to move my books over here. Now, granted, I know I still have more books. I think they're still all at my parents' house. I didn't move them over. I only lived 3 seconds from my parents and I didn't really have a spot for them, so I just left them there. But here's some of my books. I wanted to move them here because I figured they would fit nicer. And my cats actually like this because they've been sitting up here. I might also move, I was thinking today, I want to move my pencil case. I'll show you that, I think, over here. Because most of the time I'm going to write something, it's going to be at my kitchen table, which is right behind me. So having it here might be better than where I currently have it. But again, I'm going to test it out, see where I like it. So what I switched it with is I had some of my board games over in that shelf. So I basically took, my books were here. I took my books out, moved them there, and then I was able to get all my board games over here. I think I still have some more in my closet in one of the back bedrooms that we don't touch because we don't have kids yet. So we have like 2 rooms we're not even using yet. And one of them has a bunch of boxes that I have not touched since I moved in, which again is like a year ago. I did get some clear bins at Aldi's recently, and I did fill them up with a bunch of smaller board games, and these actually worked out great. They fit perfectly for these little ones. Maybe it would have been better to have closed ones, but I think I like seeing them. For me, that works. Moving on here, I did kind of similar with my puzzles. I didn't have them nicely stacked. I like too that I have the ones that are sticking out more at the top because no one's going to like hit their head. It looked weird when they were lower down, so I moved those up top. And then my puzzles, I organized those a little bit. This will also be puzzles. I know I have more. These are just all the puzzles I've done since I've moved in my house. And I have a few more that I haven't done yet and more than I bought. And then this is my to-do pile, my whips. I didn't even talk about this one. I found a wooden Michigan rummy board. My family plays that every single Thanksgiving. And I found a wooden one, but all the things on it were wrong when I was going to use it to wood carve. And I need to finish wood carving that. Anyway, this is one of the shelves that if I had a like solid bin or something, I would prefer something like that, because this is something I don't want to look at a regular basis, but want it to all be together. So I'd love to have something like that, like maybe up here. So this is where I ended up putting the quilt and my blanket that are my whips. I have them up top in that nice bucket. I like that it holds it. It's really easy to access. I don't have to really shift through anything because there's only the 2 projects. I like that. I feel like maybe something like that here would be great. Also really confused about IKEA shelves. Like, why did they leave this giant space? Like, there's no inserts. Like this one, the one above it has little inserts so I can make it shorter, but I wish this was almost 2 shelves or had the ability to be 2 shelves. And I don't know what people do with them. If anyone has any ideas of what I can do because I would love to subdivide this one and possibly have 2 shelves. Like, sometimes I can do things with the tall ones, but not usually. It's a lot. Let's see. Keep going. What else did I do? I moved all of my sewing and crochet and basically my inspiration books. So I have my inspiration books here, also like a book full of just like some patterns. This, I just wanted it off the top. I used to have it up there. I just wanted it off the top shelf. But this is more yarn for my nice pretty quilt. And it doesn't have to be there. It probably won't. These 2, I am going to move, and I'll show you where I'll move them next or in a little bit. Because I don't really like them there. Would rather have the blank space, I think. Let's see. Oh, I switched these ones around. So I put these are my, to go to my craft show. So these are crafts that I finished doing, and I just need to remember to take them with me on my next show. And then I have candles. I don't know where to set candles. Like, I just need more storage in general. That's the part about moving in and not having a lot of storage, is that I don't have a good spot to put these yet. I don't want to stick them in my kitchen. I don't really have, well, I would stick them in my kitchen if I had extra cabinets, but I don't. So I don't know what to do with them. So they're just hanging out here for now. I'll probably end up putting them in my basement once I get more shelves in my basement. Then down here, these are little side projects. I got I organized this too because this was not like this. And again, I wish I took a before and after what this looked like because it looked so bad before. But in here I have scrubby yarn and the crochet hook I used to make it. That way it's all together in one spot. And then this is my sock yarn. So I didn't have too much and they fit nicely in here. But then underneath that, it was actually another whip that I forgot that I had and meant to show you guys, which is, I have a diamond painting that I am working on. Really, really nice. Actually, this is the 3rd one. I've done 2 other beautiful sunflowers, and I would love to finish these and hang them up as like a set, especially like as a seasonal decor. So this is something I do want to do and finish at some point. Let me know if you'd like me to work on this one next, or what project you'd want me to work on next. At first I had this one on bottom, but now I'm thinking I'd rather have it on top, and now I'm realizing why I didn't have it on top. Oh gosh. Get in there. It's a tight squeeze. Next, I went and tried to organize all my yarn and move them into these 6 cubbies. I really tried to be mindful of colors as I was doing it. Like, I tried to make these all browns, blacks, grays, and whites. And then this one I kind of tried to do rainbow as best I could, but apparently I have like nothing but dull color yarn. And then I have multicolored ones at the top and fuzzy ones over here. This is actually probably the cubby I'm most proud of because I feel like it actually looks nice. The other ones look very questionable. And then this was yarn that I found after I finished organizing everything else and realized I didn't have room for it. So it got shoved in here. But I do have a bunch of projects I was thinking of to help me get rid of some of this bulk. And in the back, I have some of the crochet, really, really thin yarn as well. And then I have this box that has both the yarn that I'm making from wool. I have these that I need to wind up. This is like, I was thinking about winding this up last night, but just looking at it, I feel like that's going to be huge and more than my caker can do. I'm not really sure. I don't know how big of a cake my cake thing can do. I only got it and used it like 3 times. But I need to wind this up. It needs to get wound up. I just wasn't doing it at 11 o'clock at night last night. And then I got like fringe yarn that I put on like the sides of hats and stuff. Let's see. I fixed this up a little bit. This is my embroidery flosses. So I got ones that are flat in here or random ones that people threw at me because I had some people like clean out their house and give them to me. What is behind there? Nothing. And then I have the wound up ones. I actually bought this kit at a thrift store and I was like, oh, this is already put together for me. And then this is the one I've had since I was a kid. And everything's still there. In hindsight, I've learned that I definitely like just the flat ones. So I've been using them periodically, but I like that they're at least in color order. Like I love aesthetically like how, especially the one I put together, I love how, rainbowy it is and I can find the thing I'm looking for immediately. But I feel like from an actual usage perspective, I like the flat ones. They're easier to use. Then I fixed up my art station a little bit. Granted, I know in my room of doom, so my doom room, it's awful. It's really, really awful. It's not as awful as you would think because everything's already sorted. I just haven't moved anything into their home, partially because I'm missing storage to put things. So I do have more art things to put in my art bins. Like I have more art bins down here. I did take out what was in this, which I had one of those little compartmental organizer things. I'll show you a picture of it. And I ended up taking it out because I'm like, you know what? I'm never going to use this. This is not my organizing style. It's not something I find helpful. Even with like labels, the compartments were too small. They didn't fit anything. And I'm going to go and make my own custom organizers for that. I have ones with like wider holes and stuff already to go that I can use. So once I get that, it will be a lot better. So I'm not too worried about that. And I needed a lot more yarn space. I actually have a whole another large like garbage bag full that a friend just dropped off at my house that I got to go through and figure out what's in it. But like I said, I'm excited. I have a project that I want to do to help stash through some of these older yarns that I've had that I know I'm not going to use for anything. Like a lot of these old acrylic yarns, I don't really like to use them, especially not for clothing, which is what I've been wearing. They're really good for making cat things, but I made a few cat beds. I'll send a picture of one. I made a few cat beds and my cats really, really love it, especially now that I have 4 cats. And I need to make some more of them. And it uses like a lot. Like I take I think 7 rolls of yarn. So I'll do that. I also made some hampers and some things with it too. Again, that was good. Next project I want to tackle is all of my fabric. My fabric needs to be organized. It is awful and I can't get in there or really find anything I'm looking for. So this is something I want to organize and redo. And this is actually where I'm going to put these 2 bins. I'm going to stack them vertically and I'm going to stick them here instead. I may use this one still for fabric. I might not. I think I might just get some bins, some clear bins to put in my closet because fabric's not something I use as often. Like yarn all the time, yes, need access to it. Fabric, pull it out, do a whole bunch of cutting at once, and then put it away and don't need to see it for like months. Although some of these notions and things, I gotta figure out what to do with those as well. So got too many hobbies, too many interests, and not enough space for them all. And again, since I was on a roll yesterday, I ended up installing these little hooks to put some cleaning things over my kitchen sink. This way I have little pipe cleaners and everything like that. I also, in my baking cabinet, put my measuring little things in there, which freed up my drawer a lot. My parents actually had that in their house and they've recently put in there. And when I was baking with them this Christmas, I was like, oh my gosh, that is so convenient. Because before that, I just had it in this drawer here and it was taking up, I don't know what that is, taking up all that space. I'm gonna have to lock that. But now I have all this room in here and I can easily store what I need to. That is it for this segment, and I'm gonna get back to more mending. Also, while I was cleaning out, I did find the clips I was looking for. The replacement ones. And I even had one that was open and ready to go. So I'm going to start off with that and start seam ripping. I already checked. These ones are a little bit smaller, but I think those are still good. But this will absolutely not fit or do anything in here. So I have to take both sides off, unfortunately. But it looks like it shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so this goes under. Oh, that shouldn't be too bad. Doesn't matter which way it goes. Ooh. Okay, so this will be a little bit hard. How did I get this clip in here? Okay, I think the play is to pull this up to give myself some room to thread it in. Oh, it went like that. So then this can't go through the, okay. All right, this side is good. Hopefully I put it on the right way. Doesn't matter. No, it'll go either way. All right, that doesn't matter. But this I just gotta sew here. Should be pretty easy. And then this one. Okay, it's pretty similar. I find it kind of insane that, like, out of all the projects I showed you, I feel like most of the ones I did weren't even on my original list because I kept finding more projects that I had to do. They all have different levels of priority for me. So this comes out. So it's gotta go. Make sure I have this the right way. Okay, it gets this way. So it's gonna go in through there. I just want to make sure I'm doing it right. I feel like nothing's worse than like going through all the trouble, sewing it wrong, and then being stuck with it. And again, I'm gonna move this guy pretty deep in there. It pinches like a little bit, but not enough that I think it's gonna cause a problem. All right, and I think the key too is before I sew it, let me make sure that it all clips and everything. Because honestly, these parts, like, I don't even really need to sew it per se. Like, the things are tight enough that they'll just. So let's say it would go on this way. Perfect. And it's a little pitched, but not much. It should be fine. All right, let's go over to my sewing machine and sew it up. I'm not going to take you with me because my sewing desk is a mess right now because some of the things I took off my shelf ended up there. So I'll just be back when it's done. All done with this. I can't believe how easy that was to sew together. My sewing machine had 0 problems with it. And I can't believe I put this off for so long. Actually, part of it was because I had no idea where these clips were. But it's done. And now I have a nice little water bottle holder with some pockets in it. And it's got this reflective material too, so I don't have to worry about getting run over by a car or whatever. All right, on to the next one. So after that last challenge, I need a quick win. And even though this won't be a quick, it'll at least be fun for me. So that counts as a quick win. I am going to work on, I thought it was a hedgehog, but it came from this book and it's actually a puffer fish. So I'm going to continue making this puffer fish. I know most of the reason I stopped was because I didn't want to get too far before I couldn't put the eyes in, and I didn't have any eyes where I was. So let me go pop some eyes in. What do you think? That looks cute? I think that'll do. Eyes are in, and I can actually put a little bit of stuffing in here too. Should be good for now. It does kind of look like a hedgehog, but it's going to be a little puffy fish. So I think I figured out where I am. It says I have to do 1 popcorn followed by 2 double crochet 8 times. I don't know how I was doing the popcorn stitch, so let me look that up. Popcorn stitch. 4 incomplete treble stitches in the same stitch. 5 loops on your hook, pull through all 3, or all 5. Okay, shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, that looks a lot different than what I had. I feel like I didn't do these parts right. I think I might just go back and redo the popcorn. I think I was doing double crochet, not popcorn stitch. So I'm actually going to go back because there should be these little like cute puffs on it. Take 2. Let me count to make sure I got 24 stitches. Right, I do in fact have 24 stitches, which is great. I'm like losing my marbles. It's like I forgot how to crochet completely. So now that I want to do this, I gotta do 1 popcorn followed by 2 double crochets, and I have to repeat this 8 times. I'll be back when I'm done. So I finished those 8 rows and I got a nice little hot dog. I had to still stuff it. I just kind of shoved the ball in there. But I think it's looking good so far. I did actually do a little bit of a change to the pattern. I didn't just go straight across. I didn't like how that looked. So I did intentionally stagger them, which is kind of what the picture looked like. So they weren't on top of each other. And I just kind of looked at what it was. I just made sure my double crochets were over top the 2 sides of the popcorn. And yeah, that was about it. So that's it. And I'm going to call it quits for today. I have pinball tonight. I can't wait to play pinball. It's going to be so much fun. Hello and welcome back. I figured I'd do another check-in of what I completed today. So I finished up, I ended up making it like a hedgehog. I really thought it looked cute this way. I tried to put the fins on it to make it look like a puffer fish, but because it was just so oblong, it just didn't look great. So instead I made it into this cute little or hedgehog, but either way, super cute. I think it'd be fun to play with. I think my nieces and nephews will enjoy playing with that when they're here. I also finished the towel I was working on. I was actually like pretty much done with it. When I checked the length, it was pretty much there. I had like 2 rows left. So that is done. And also I finished this hat. I'm not sure if I showed this on a video before, but it's a cable headband that I did. I just put the fringe on a few minutes ago to make it nice and fluffy on the outside and give it a little bit more length. But super pretty, super fun. I always love doing cables. They're a lot of fun to do. And now I'm going to go through and wind up these 2 bad boys that I have. The other one I have already on my loom ready to go. So I figured I'd put you on a time lapse and you can enjoy it from there. Well, this is only my 2nd time using this ball winder, so I'm hoping my setup will work. I did it a little differently before, but it was awkward. Hopefully this time I got it right. I got these 2 stunning colors. One's a little bit more green, one's a little bit more pink, I would say. Comment and let me know, what should I make with these yarns? Alright, and that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed this crazy adventure with me. If you have any ideas for future projects or what whips I should tackle next, please leave me a comment. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you like this video and smash that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. I'd love to hear from all of you. And with that, Bye-bye. Oh, how did I manage that? I have a little visitor. Cookie, stop.
You, little girl, why are you chaos today?
Little chaos demon. You helping. You being good helper. You know, I never expected Chi to be the more chill one. I thought Cookie would be way more chill, because she seemed like she was chill. But then she turned into like a fire cat. Maybe it's because she's partly orange. Maybe it was destiny, because we're orange nest. This is what it's like living with cats.
I really hope this one cat here that's in front of my camera, you guys can't see it.
You comfy, Cookie?